Hey everyone, thanks for joining me in my top 5 cinematic board games not intellectual property. These are the games that feel like that ubiquitous genre film. And so I'm going to walk you through my top 5 that are all 5 different genres of movies that we love to watch. So let's get started. Oh, the helicopter for me, I'm coming! I got the urn! Oh, the lava! Oh, it's so hot! No! This game delivers on the excitement, the fun, and definitely the theme. It is Fireball Island. That's right. This is the box. The Curse of Valkar. As with every exciting adventure disaster movie, you are out on your own trying to grab as much stuff as you can, and you are competing against your own players, sometimes stealing stuff that they have, but you're doing it on a 3D board. That's what makes this game so fun and so exciting. You have to piece it together, but it's beautifully made with this shaped plastic, and it's designed and painted and has all of these tracks and paths and runners, and you're gonna have marbles rolling down the map coming after you and knocking you over. You're gonna have to cross rickety bridges. You're gonna go through cave systems and pop out on the other side of the island. It is just chock full of so much fun stuff. In the meantime, though, you have to play a movement card on your turn. And that movement card, that's your action essentially, is going to tell you exactly how far you move, but also if there's some other exciting event that happens. And some of those exciting events that could happen are fireball marbles coming down at you from Volcar, ember marbles chasing ya, bees, there's a bees expansion, you can have those little guys coming at you. And it's never set. Like, it's never for sure that you're gonna get hit by a marble, because even if it's coming your way, it might divert, it might hit something and kind of like change paths. So there's just so much excitement. Every time I play, we're always like, ah, and then someone gets knocked, like, clean down to the bottom, and it's devastating for them, but it's hilarious for you. You should not take this game too seriously, because it seems like there's always one player who grabs the heart of Volcar. It never gets stolen from them. They get all the souvenirs. They go and take all the pictures at the vistas, which gives them points for everything that I mentioned. And then they get to the helipad and fly away in the helicopter. That's the excitement. That's what's fun about this. You can play it again, just reset it and start over. I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. It gives you that excitement of any kind of volcano explosion movie where you are trying to race out and with your life, but you kind of want some stuff too. Now, as easy and fun and light as Fireball Island is, my number 4 pick is pretty heavy. It is a party game. That is Dinosaur Island. Dinosaur Island is Jurassic Park, and you are playing from the scientist perspective of like splicing together and creating and growing all of these dinosaurs so that you can attract visitors to your park, even though you know that it risks their lives. Because it is a hearty strategy game, there are several steps for each round that you have to make sure you walk through. The first phase is the research phase. That's when you get to research DNA, and that's the dice drafting. The second part is the market phase, and in the market phase you get to hire specialists, build attractions, buy lab upgrades, purchase DNA. This is a really important phase to develop your kind of ongoing park. You need to make sure that you've got those attractions ready to go for the visitors to come and see so that you can actually get money from them. Because as long as you get visitors, you get money. But if you can't keep your visitors or your dinosaurs eat your visitors, then you don't get money. In the worker phase, you get to place your workers out to all of the actions that are in your player area that you want to activate. Are you really going heavy on building dinosaurs this turn? Are you going heavy in security this turn? Are you refining your DNA, which makes it easier for you to collect more of a particular type? Maybe you're wanting to specialize in herbivores or your carnivores. And so the more dinosaurs you get, the more it costs to keep them, the more security you need, which is another tracker you have to keep your eye on so that you can actually keep all of your dinosaurs in your park safely. You are constantly aware of this really fine balance of your park working and your park turning into the end of every Jurassic Park movie, which is, we know how it ends, right? Dinosaurs take over. And so I just think the game is so smart. Another thing that players are competing for directly is an objective card. And so if you have completed an objective card on your turn, you're going to claim that card and it's going to give you bonus victory points. The great thing about this game that makes it so cinematic is that there are cards that literally say plot twist. And so every single time you play, there is one really crazy, weird rule breaker plot twist that you get to play with. You can also customize for a short, medium, or long game, depending on how long you want your movie to go for. If you want to jump into a super thematic game that is very heavy in strategy and player interaction, you cannot go wrong with Dinosaur Island.
Arr, I think me bottle of sherry's too small. Walk the plank. Where's me parrot?
Okay, for my number 3 pick, I thought of the game that I played endlessly and tirelessly, and it's a game that's played on the high seas. That game is Pirates Cove. Pirates Cove is a pirate game, and you could think of Pirates of the Caribbean as your example. Pirates Cove is every Pirates game you've ever wanted and then some. Each player has their own ship that they sail around the board to all these different islands trying to upgrade their ship hull or their sails or their cannons, and they're trying to find as much treasure as possible, and they're trying to shoot down the navy and other pirates. It's stinking exciting. It just really is. There is a secret programming that happens when you decide to which island you'd like to go. The reason you want to go to an island is because it gives a benefit of an upgrade on your ship, but it also gives a treasure card, and those treasure cards are revealed at the beginning of each round. Then, if you go to the same place as someone else, or if there's a enemy ship in that particular place you go, you have to resolve combat. When you prepare for battle, you can play particular cards. Being the fastest ship does matter because there is an initiative order on who goes first. And then you fire volleys at each other. If you choose to, you can escape to Pirates Cove, and Pirates Cove is a safe place. That's essentially the haven where you don't have to fight each other. If you make it through combat, you get to plunder, and that's when you get to have all the treasure, and you get to make the upgrades that you want to make. It's a very clean, straightforward game that requires you to do some thinking because you don't want to meet other people and have combat, force combat when you're weak. And so you're trying to outthink the other players. Where's that person gonna go? What are they up to? Do they need to fix their ship here? Do they need to fix their cannons? Do they want to go and repair their hull? What's going on with them? And so you're looking around before you program your wheel, and then everything's revealed. It is so thematically strong. At Tavern Island, you can buy up to 3 tavern cards. At Treasure Island, you bury all of your treasure. That's where you get to lock in your victory points. There are wonderful touches like walking the plank and getting your parrot killed. Those are going to hurt you and your game. But you also get to defeat legendary pirates, plunder and collect fame cards. It's just a wonderfully fun game. I think it's fair to say that one of the best movie genres is the Western. And when I think about a really fun, rich Western style game, a brand new game that I played just this last year and have really enjoyed all of the expansions to is Western Legends. Western Legends gives me that Western feel, and it's so strong that even though the game lasts an hour and a half to 2 hours, you still want to be in that world when the game ends. You actually feel like you didn't get to do so many things that you wanted to do, which makes you want to play again, and maybe play as a different character. That's the great thing about Western Legends. You play an iconic character that is historically relevant and epic to the West. They have starting items and they have goals, and they really have a unique take on things. Now, every player can choose to either be good and go into the deputy side of the game, or they can be an outlaw and really kind of start rustling up some danger. The other great thing about this game is at the beginning of your turn, you get stuff every time. You get either $20, $10 and a poker card, or 2 poker cards. Depending on what you have, you might need the cash or you might need the cards, somewhere in between. But you're always getting stuff on your turn, and I really like that. Every player has a player board that keeps track of all of their horses and their weapons, their items, their gold. There's gold nuggets in the game. They look like little gold nuggets. And you have money that you can go to play poker with. You can go to the saloon. You can pan for gold, which is a really kind of luck-based thing where you go to the mine and you roll dice and you can get nuggets and money, or you can just get a bunch of dirt. You can hold up the bank if you want to, but really you just want to deposit your money there for victory points or legendary points. In the map, as you're traveling around to all of these different locations trying to get as much money and as much fame as possible, you're running into outlaws, and if you're an outlaw yourself, you're running into the sheriff and other deputies, which are other players who can essentially initiate a fight with you. And when you fight, that's the really fun thing. You have poker cards, and poker cards are played. High card wins, and not only is it the high card that wins, but there's always text on the cards that might give you an extra bonus or a benefit, or it might negate other text on somebody else's card. And so the game is really, really dynamic and constantly changing. And when you add all of the other components with the expansions, it created just this vast, sprawling Western movie that I could not wait to explore. I loved wrangling cattle, and I robbed a train, and I almost died robbing the train. But I mean, I almost lost my outlaw status robbing the train because it was defended so well. I just wanted to do everything because I wanted to be in the movie. I wanted to be in that world, and it just, every time I play it, I get so excited. It's such a rich, fun, exciting game that's hearty. You gotta sit down for a while and play this. It's not a fast game, and so just take your time with it and embrace the theme and embrace what the game wants you to do, and you will have a great time. Suckers. Wait, is that a giant ball rolling my way? My number one game is a rollicking adventure, very aptly named, and you are just racing to get to the end and leave with as much treasure as possible. That game is The Adventurers. This is Indiana Jones. Just plain and simple. And in it, you are picking a character that has a unique ability, and you are starting at the opening of this cave, going in a one-way direction. You cannot come back. And along the way, you're trying to grab as much stuff as possible. You're trying to move as fast as possible. But the more stuff you get, the heavier you get, which means the slower you get. And if you don't make it out because of a variety of obstacles and traps, then you don't get to count your score, and you essentially died and you got a 0. Every time I play, half of everybody dies. It's just part of the game. And if you make it out, wow, good on you. Particularly if you're pretty heavy with treasure and cool items. Players begin in a space where the walls are closing in on them. Also, there is a giant boulder that is going to run along the perimeter of the board that the players need to outrun, essentially. So you cannot take your time. You need to race as fast as possible while, again, picking up a bunch of stuff. After players escape the walls that are squeezing in on them, they enter a space where there is a bunch of tiles, and essentially there's lava underneath, and if you step on the wrong tiles, you will fall through and plummet to your death. Each one of these tiles has a unique pattern on it, and if you search enough while you're in the room with the walls closing in on you, you might actually get intel on which of those particular tiles you can step on to get across in the fastest way. Otherwise, you're taking the long perimeter route where that boulder is just barreling down its path. You enter into a space where you can, again, take the long route around, which is the safe route. You can cross a rickety bridge that, as you cross, becomes even more rickety for people behind you. Or you can go down this water chute, and the water chute is terrifying. You may or may not make it out at the end of the water chute, but it dumps you right at the exit. While it is the most risky, it has the biggest payout. This game is, again, you can tell it's very exciting. It feels like a movie. If you like The Adventurers in general, but particularly the Temple of Chalk, I would recommend The Pyramid of Horus. This is another adventurers game, and it has wonderful challenges and traps that give you a new adventure to go on. This game is a blast. It's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom to a T. I mean, they made it clearly with that in mind, and without any of the intellectual property, it still absolutely stands on its own as a phenomenal, exciting, cinematic game.